Hi, so I wanted to make a video on some tips and tricks of how to score yourself a PS5 on the Sony Direct website. I just got mine yesterday and it was just luck more than anything, but I wanted to go over some things that I've learned from the Sony Direct website and maybe it'll help you score a PS5 as well. So if you don't know, last week, well, I guess this week still, Sony Direct dropped on Monday in the afternoon. Thursday in the afternoon. Didn't think they would drop on Friday, but Sony Direct came out and dropped on Friday in the afternoon. Now, the typical time that Sony drops is between, I'm in Central Time Zone, so it's usually between like 3 and 5, maybe not much past 5. I've heard that the cap for the time is 7 p.m. Eastern, so about 6 p.m. my time, it would be done. Now, so typically it is in the afternoon. If you are checking the Sony website, which is what I recommend you do, you might notice that around 11 a.m. Central, you'll start to get the CAPTCHA thing and it'll start to say high traffic. It's not doing anything unless it actually puts you in a queue. So what I do, and another thing that was really important, one of the first times I got on Sony Direct and I was in the queue, my phone wouldn't do it. So I had Sony Direct with the PS5 on my phone. The page was there, and I kept refreshing it. And even when my computer was in queue, just refreshing the page on my phone did not work. So then I figured out, hey, I actually have to exit out of the tab and then bring up a new tab. So I wanted to show this screenshot. If you're on your phone, you can see I got the Sony Direct emblem right there. It's a good thing to have where you can just press it and boom, it takes you in there. Because for some odd reason, I'm using an Android and refreshing did not work. Now, does refreshing work on the computer? Most of the people you watch on live streams will just refresh Sony Direct. However, I did have one issue. So my Google search quit finding just directly to the PS5. Like it would take me to the pre-order, or I don't know what happened to my Google search that it started changing. So then what I did was like, okay, I'll just get the URL for the PS5 console version and I'll just plug it in there and then go back and forth from Google, press forward. This did not work. Now, I'm not sure if refreshing itself does work for PC. Hopefully it does, but I know I had issues on the phone. So, when should you check? Usually it's in the afternoon. Like I said, with them dropping on Thursday, this past Thursday, did not think they would drop on Friday, but I randomly checked a little bit before 3 o'clock and I got my place in line. Very interesting is it first showed me 3 minutes and then it jumped up to 16 minutes. It stayed on 16-minute wait for some time and then it went up to more than an hour. So, of course, looking at more than an hour, I got nervous at this point, but I was like, I'm going to stick it out and see what happens. So, if you don't know what the queue looks like, I'll talk about this screenshot. So, here it is. And I do want to say this. Yes, I was following a group on Discord that they would come in and post it when things went live. I got in about 2 whole minutes before I saw the Discord post. So it was really just a stroke of luck. The other thing I want to say is you might notice that as soon as you get in, you don't see that message that says, hey, at 2:05, which it is Pacific time, so it would show like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in my instance. Um, 2:05 limited stock. So when you first get in and it first starts, Sony doesn't put up the message with the timestamp. I hate to say it, if you get in with the timestamp already there, you might be too late, but always stick it out because you never know what's going to happen. So like I said, it stayed on 16 minutes for a while and then it went to more than an hour, but then I stuck it out and altogether it took me about 30 minutes to get in. So you might notice that, my wait time went down to a minute. You can see the timestamps in the top left corner, um, you know, except for that one. So this is what I got to, and I want to talk about this. Yeah, I stuck it out. I saw the time jumping down, like it went from more than an hour to 32 minutes to 29 minutes to 21 to 19. Like it kept just dropping really fast, and stayed pretty consistent around 5 minutes. Now, for right here, nothing makes you more nervous than seeing that, hey, it's your turn, and it stayed on this page for a while, and I got so nervous because it wasn't going to my new tab. Just stick it out. It will take you to the new tab and it will take you in the store. So even when you see this, just stick it out. Now, if you're nervous about refreshing, at this point, I just said, hey, I'm going to refresh, and I did, and it went straight back to this page. So refreshing literally does nothing, and it tells you at the bottom, hey, there's no point in refreshing. So just keep that in mind. Refreshing does not help at all. It just went straight back to it's your turn and had me right there. So when you get to this one, I promise you, it was probably a good minute before I actually went into the website. So, and you can tell my battery's going down. So I was nervous during this whole thing. I was like, please don't die on me. When you get in, just you know what to do. You'll go to the system you want. You'll add it to your cart. Add anything else. If you are a PS Plus member, you get free shipping and you get free express shipping. So the first shipping that you'll see that's already selected is 3 to 4 days. Right underneath it is 1 to 2 days, and it says free with PS Plus. The other thing I would recommend is go ahead and do a login on your phone, because when I got into the site, all I had to do was press the sign in. And since it remembered me, I didn't have to put in my credentials again. It remembered, hey, you're so and so with this PSN account. So you got to realize that when you get into the website, you're talking about 10 minutes. If anything trips up, if you don't have something ready, you could lose your spot. I do like going through Sony Direct because you hear about Target and Walmart having to cancel and go back on these orders, and that's not fun for anybody. So I like how Sony's doing it. You also hear that maybe you get a random place in line. I don't think that's true. I started to think that that rumor was true when they booted me up to an hour. I'm like, how could this be? I just had 3 minutes and 16. What's going on? Stick it out, especially if you get in early. Now, about when to check. I don't know this for sure, but it really seems like they drop about 5 minutes before the hour. I think the first time I checked was at 2:55. I was just randomly checking, just had a gut feeling just to check it, and then I got the hey, you're being put in a queue, and I want to say it was about 5 till. So I really feel like if they're going to drop on the hour, they do it a few minutes before. So just keep checking. If you're stressed out, I think Sony's going to get more in. I think it's going to be easier to find at like Target, and I don't know what Best Buy's been doing. They might update on Sunday, is what I heard. So check Best Buy. Target was supposed to have a big drop this morning. It's Saturday the 5th, and they didn't drop this morning. Maybe Target's going to drop locally with store pickup tomorrow morning. Just keep checking it. It will get easier. I know a lot of you are trying to get it in before Christmas, and if you just keep checking Sony Direct. Best thing about Sony Direct, you can only order one per account. That's great. So now I can't get back on with my account and order another one. So I'm kind of locked out unless I create a new account. And they do give you 10 minutes to check out. So it's not like Walmart where you put it in your card and then you got booted out at the last second. So if you have any questions or comments, this is just what I went through yesterday. I think I've been unsuccessful on Sony Direct. I've been unsuccessful other places, but Sony Direct maybe 3 times before. And I kind of learned from each experience about the refreshing and the closing out and getting back in. And then it's just luck. Now, feel free to follow. I followed a guy on YouTube. I'm probably still going to get in the channel because it was a lot of fun just to be part of that community, and everybody gets on there and they're helping each other out just to learn about drops. Even if you don't make a drop, learn about when people are dropping. It seems like Target's, if you're Central Time, maybe 5:30 to 5:40 in the morning when Target drops for store pickup. It seems like Best Buy does it late at night. You were talking about 3 a.m. maybe on Sundays. And like even with Sony, learning that Sony usually drops in the afternoon, anywhere from 3 to maybe 5:30 Central Time. So just start learning about these patterns that you see, and develop a plan on when to get in. So I hope you found this video useful. If you have any more questions for me, feel free to leave comments and let me know.